let's do this. Another day, and a little more Dwarf Fortress. Alrighty, let me see where I am and where we left off. Looks like I'm working on expanding for a little more cropland. Not much there. A little bit of combat log, but nothing too terrible. Let's unpause this and see where we're at. Today we got the vapors out there. This is 5 pawns, perpetual check at 3. And I'm running at about, what am I using right now? About 4.8 at a 1.8 coil. So, trusty coffee. Looks like the elves are doing their thing still at the trading post, but that's not going to do us much good. So, hopefully we can get this wall built. Give ourselves just a touch more territory to work with. Where are you going? That little guys are fishermen. Alright, fair enough. Alrighty, we got another underground crop area looks like we're planning to open up whenever our digging dwarves get around to it. Ooh, we got way too many birds hanging out up there. What's going on? Too small, that's what we were figuring. Too small of an area. Okay. And I've got nobody digging at the moment, so did I put everybody on a SWAT team? Probably. Yeah, smoothing among other tasks. Okay. Let's take a look here. Alerts, we're good. Idlers, we're flat 0. So probably people pulling rock from God knows where. Alright, fair enough. Let's minimize this, get that cleaned up. There we go. He's, what the, oh, probably a turtle. Pond turtle or something like that. Okay. Let's see how our queue's looking. Almost done with nests, almost done with pots. Food, we're okay. Drink, we're doing meh. We're getting there. We got some farmers getting some above ground crops. Let's see what we can get here. I do have seeds for lettuce apparently. There we go. That's all I've got at the moment. Let's get another zone here for gathering. Just so we can snag whatever above ground stuff we can as well. So if we're lucky, we'll get some seeds out of it for those above ground crops. Because we've got 2 biomes sitting there. We've got the magical fairy unicorns and fluffy wambler side, and then we've got our normal, I think, untamed wilds. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But we do have a couple things going on here. One, we've got this giant cliff, and I'm not apt to put a bridge there. At least not at this point, because that locks everybody over there, and that means our caravan is only going to come from these 2 sides. The side that they can come from has to have a valid path. So that basically makes that side of the map irrelevant for now. If we can, we'll get over there eventually, but first we want to really make sure we're secure in what we're doing here, since we're very limited in what we have available to us. Now, with the 3 wide rule with the wagon, however, we can put, for instance, some weapon traps up in this area, because obviously the shortest path would be that direction, and they'll still take the long path around the tree. So we can think of from this side, from this side of the tree over to here, we have some space for some weapon traps if we want. Alright, we got some migrants coming in. What direction are they coming in from? Okay, southwest it looks. So they're coming up. Gives us a little bit more manpower. That's always a good thing. 6 idlers, yes. You guys are on smoothing. Let's make sure everybody has smoothing except for our mining dwarves. So I'm going to pull those guys, clear all their laborers, and set them just to mining. Ah crap, somebody's going to go batshit insane. Zan Atescus Zan. Whatever. Alright, Zan, we're going to give you a temporary nickname. Set nickname, the Mad. And again, we'll change his nickname later if he actually pulls something off. But in the meantime, just in case he goes insane and berserk, let's just rig this enough so we expect him to fail. That is a lot of migrants. That is a good thing, and yet, in another way, a bad thing. Claim to Mason's workshop. Please make a door. Oh, he's off to a quick start. Single ingredient. We can hope. We can hope. And we've got plenty of copper materials to work with. Copper and silver, I think, is what that one is. So. What is this guy doing? It must be his pet dog. Huh. I don't remember assigning a hunting dog or anything yet, so must be a pet. Everybody's chilling down there. This is acceptable for the time being. We got plenty of food, fruit, nuts, and berries. Make sure our brewers are busy. And some fruit as well. Yes, we know the elves will be leaving soon. Alrighty. Wall is getting put up. When we get down to about 3 build orders left, we're going to deconstruct our little wall over there. Looks like we got some trees there that might grow up as well, so we might get some fruit trees eventually, which would be nice in that territory. Oh yeah, that's a lot. That's more than enough. DN. Let's get our deconstruction order in that wall segment. There. Because it looks like we've got almost all of our rock coming in that we're going to need to finish that wall. So, timing wise, hopefully, just as they're finishing that up, somebody will be deconstructing it. We've got more people gathering as well, so we're doing okay. Ooh, an artifact bed. That's not too shabby. In fact, that makes me want to remove this middle bed here, and we'll put the artifact bed in the middle of the dormitory. If anything, that'll make the dwarves that are forced to use the dormitory just that much happier. So build, bed, hit. Let's see here. Actually, we can do that. Hit X to expand. Make sure we got our artifact selected. Not necessary all the time, but it's a good habit to have. There. That'll be the artifact bed. Made out of all things rock. Doesn't strike me as comfy, but I'm going to just assume from a role-playing standpoint that the bed's material is what the frame of the bed is made out of, and they're just stuffing it with straw or Lord knows what. Hair. If you ever want a good read-up on the history of Strange and things that we take for granted, read up on the history of beds. Surprisingly an interesting history. Of course, I'm a history buff, so I find everything that you could ever find on the H&G History Channel before it became reality TV. All that fun stuff. How it works is what I watch a lot of. War Fortress 05 Trouble of Brewing. Awesome stuff, man. I am glued. Well, thank you for stopping by. Toxic. What is that? I don't have my glasses on. Chalifs? Chalif? Toxic halves? I don't know. What is that? I can't make that out. I don't have my glasses on. Toxic will have to do. So, thank you for stopping by, Toxic. I do appreciate it. It's just an opportunity for me to... I had the day off today, but I had some chores and stuff, and my dog's got some hot spots I had to take care of, and my foot's all bummed up on the left foot, so been a slow day, but I finally settled down, get some video game time in. Just me sharing my spare time is all. Alrighty. How's that digging going? Perfect. I think that'll give us much more room for poultry. Speaking of which, build Shift N for nest box. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 5, right? And then we'll skip 1, 2, 3. There, that's enough to start. And then we'll set up a new area over there for just the poultry. I could have gone down one deeper, but I want to have another subfloor for more gathering and stuff. This one I'm hoping we get some trees, some single-story or two-story mushrooms, and then the rest of the stuff we put into the dirt will hopefully just give us a lot of gathering, vegetation, stuff like that. Keep our farms busy. See if we got any new seeds, and no. Well, it was worth a shot. Alrighty, our wall is done. Good. We actually have some sand, which is even better. No, that's not sand. What is that? I don't know what that is. Looks like sand. What is that supposed to be? Okay. Furrowed sandy loam. Okay, but not sand that I can collect. And I don't think I got any sand handy anywhere that I can collect, so no glass spike traps for me yet. We'll have to trade for it. Alright, so that's done. Let's pause here, and I'm going to tweak some of my labors. And again, because of the glitch, it's pointless for me to show you since you can't see any of it, but we're going to reset everybody, clear all labors, and we're going to set everyone as a base citizen. If you have my prefab stuff, this will make a lot of sense. I can try to share this, but some of the right-clicking stuff I'm going to do isn't going to make much sense to you, but let's do that so people can just kind of get an idea. Dwarven therapist. Here we go. Alright, so again, we've selected everybody. We've gone with a right click. Again, you can't see that. I went customize and I set everybody to a base citizen, which is where we're at now. Now I'm going to go up here, group by. Again, you can't see that. Right click, go fig, and we're sort by profession. And I don't know why all you guys did not get reset. So let's go again with race. Select all. Customize base citizen. There we go. And then we can go sort by profession. So everybody's a base citizen now. And the way I use mine is I use mine layered. So base citizen should be something that everybody and their cousin should be doing. It's the dwarfly thing to do. Animal hauling, burial, food hauling, things like that. Some of my professions override, and then some of them will layer on top. So like for instance our miners. Right click, customize, and then I'm going to select miner from the list. All that does is turn on mining. However, I like my miners very specialized, so I end up going clear all labors, and then I select customize miner. And that gives them siege operator, pump operator, and miner. And when I click that, boom, they're out of my pool of base citizens. And I've got the separate pool miners. So we want to make sure we hit our critical service types. Now, Zan the Mad is no longer the Mad, so we're going to fix his nickname. We're going to call him, since he's a mason, a master mason, let's give him a nice earthy sounding nickname. Let's go with the Stoner. There's a nice play on words. The Stoner. So I just hit apply, and there's our guy. He's going to be a crafter. So we're going to go customize. I'm going to select a class called crafter, which does nothing except give him that profession name. Crafters are people I manually manage. So nothing changed except for the fact now he's in this group called crafter, and then I can pick the specific craft I want him working on. So he's our go-to mason guy. But we got our basically our 4 critical services. We need our farmers, we need our brewer, We need our cook. Those are your 3 food-related ones. And then, of course, we need people that can do some measure of crafting as needed or something of that. So brewers, cooks, farmers, usually like a fishing guy. If you have a good water source on your map, you can consider your 4th critical service like miners or masons or whatever. But you usually have these 4 core categories depending on where you're at and what you're doing. So let's take a look at our farming situation first. And a well-skilled farmer can produce a lot and be pretty efficient. I usually like 4 of each of my cores. So 4 farmers, 4 cooks, 4 brewers. And if you're doing conscription where everybody's in the military, you probably want to double that to 8. Because if 5 of them are in a squad and they're busy, that's going to only leave you 3 left over. So since I'm not doing mandatory conscription at this moment, let's just get a pair of each for now. So customize, and I set him as a farmer. You'll notice when I hit this, farming is an override. It doesn't layer on top, it actually unselects a bunch of crap. And that's, depending on how you set up custom professions, you can have them overlay or you can have them replace. Again, I wish I could fix the deal with the right clicks and submenus showing up. I haven't quite figured that part out yet, but we'll get there. Brewing. I want 2 brewers and I want 2 cooks. My best cook also happens to be my brewer, so who do I want to have him as? Well, he's a little bit up on cooking, so let's make him a cook. Customize, cook. Alright, now let's get a brewer. And this person here looks like they might make a decent brewer. Customize brewer. So I've got 1 of each now. Now I just got to figure out who's going to be my secondary cook and secondary brewer. And this guy's got cooking, so we'll set you as a cook. And the next one down, customize, we'll set you as a brewer. Hit apply, boom, there we go. Now at this early point in the game, for brewing and cooking, I would probably clear their labors so they just do brewing and just do cooking. At this early point, when I get 4 of them, then I can probably ease off on that. But clear labors and just cooking. That's pretty much where we're at on that. And then we just keep processing through. So now we need farmers, if we don't already have them. We have 2 farmers, 2 cooks, 2 brewers. We got our miners. We got a crafter. We do have a lot of stone detailing and things like that, but let's just take a look at what we've got right now. Let's make sure we have a fisherman. 1 is more than enough. The problem with having more than 1 fisherman is that puts people outside your fortress, and that's a risk. If you have an internal cistern and you've got fish in there, that's another story. We're not there yet. We'll get there. Now we can start going through our skill sets. We already have a mason. We'll sort the columns by mason. Let's go stone detailing. We got 1 guy with stone detailing. He looks pretty useless in every other category. So, wait a minute. This individual has shield user and armor user as a top 3 roles. You can't see that, but that's on that right click menu there, top 3 roles. So let's take a look at the military here real quick. And this individual does have discipline biter, or discipline dodger, kick, strike, wrestler, armor user, armor user. So this could be a very potential kills. That's a new one. 1 kill, giant, he must be my hunter. So I have a good category to keep track of people like that, and it's customized and it's a soldier. Career soldiers, not necessarily a bad thing to have. So, alright, back to labor. Soldiers get a very generic set. It reflects another custom profession I have that we're going to use a little bit later called commoner. And those are the people that do labors and activities where the quality isn't all that important. It might influence speed, but nobody gives a shit on how good your bar of soap is. It doesn't really factor in. Milking a cow, grinding plants, even gathering plants and shrubs and processing them in like a millstone or putting them in bags. We're not too terribly worried about that. Even cheese making. That's stuff that you can tweak later on. So the commoner is our catch-all. Hey buddy, you're useless. You're a commoner. And then hopefully we get lucky and they get a trade skill or a strange mood or something like that. That's a start. But so we've got a stone detailer here potentially with this guy here as well. He doesn't look terribly useless. I'm going to let the mouse over here. Engraver, leader, and socializer. Alright, so customize crafter. Again, we're going to use that crafting category. Just think of crafters as a category that we use to manually manage people. And then we just check that one skill that we want them to use. Boom. Going down the list, stone crafting. Pots, slabs, things of that nature. Always good to have at least one. However, this guy has some skill in wood cutting. He could be our lumberjack. We want to keep the number of dwarves out there that are randomly doing crap outside the fortress to a minimum. So let's find one guy and we'll let him go. So we're going to set this guy as our lone lumberjack. Boom. So we now have a lumberjack. So we're pulling out of the pool of base citizens and putting them into more specific categories. This individual. So we're still on stone crafting. We don't have a stone crafter. We check in our crafting slot here. So we'll say you're going to be our stone crafter. Boom. There's another crafter out of the way. Moving along, all base citizens have animal care. We don't have any specific training. We don't have anybody specifically for medic, which is unfortunate, but it's the way of things. Moving along, butchery and tannering, everybody has it because we don't care as long as it gets done. Leatherworking. We have nobody, and I mean nobody, that's good at leatherworking. So what are our options? Not much. His role says crafts dwarf, so we could say, you know, you're a crafter and get to work on leatherworking. Okay. It's not going to terribly hurt. He can skill up and hopefully he gets better. If he doesn't, well, maybe somebody better will come along. This guy here, Iton, he's got a little bit of military. He's got some Mark's dwarf skill. I'm going to set him customize noble, and I'm going to give him hunting. Why noble and not craftsman? Noble is just another category that helps me keep track. I'll be putting politicians and people that I need to watch very specifically in the noble category. The reason I put the hunter there is because I want to make sure I assign him a pet of some sort to keep him safe. So I come down here and I find my noble. Here he is. I make sure he's got hunting, and I'm going to give him a nickname. Set nickname. This is a dude or a gal or another? Dude. Alright. So you are the hunter. Make us proud. I hope. Alright, again, we're moving through our base citizens. Scanning across. We still need a bone carver. Right? I've got nobody that's got skill of that of any type. This guy could also make a decent soldier. So customize soldier. We need to make sure we ramp up on our military as early as we can, but we don't want to go over the board either. So this individual, animal training, dodger, trapper, you're useless. Customize, crafter, you are now my bone carver, because I am that desperate for that particular skill set. I do have somebody who has beekeeping, but I've never really found a real strong use for that yet. Okay, I got Odomor, Mark's Hunter, Ambusher. This guy might even be a better fit, in fact. Great tracking, competent Mark's Dwarf. Yeah, let's set you as Noble. Set nickname, Hunter. We're going to pull that other guy out. So we'll go down here, set nickname, clear the nickname. And customize base citizen again. Put him back in the pool. There. So we can continue on. Fishing, we're okay. Furnace, we have a weaponsmith. Customize, crafter, weaponsmith. Do I have an armor smith yet? No. Armor smithing, that's a little iffy if you want to just throw somebody at that to start. At this point, sure. Customize, crafter, armor smithing. If anything, he'll be working on shell and that kind of stuff. Blacksmithing, we got nobody again, but we do have gem cutting and gem setting, and I'd like to have two of those. So customize, crafter, and I'll tick both of these on. We've got 1 there for now. Alright, so we're still looking at our blacksmithing. We don't have anybody for blacksmithing. This guy, or gal, looks like a gal, can be a tailor. I actually have a specific category for tailor because it puts on more than just the crafting. And I want to make sure I have at least 1 tailor. One of the largest unseen reasons why dwarves go batshit crazy, especially in the older versions, is they don't have a good selection of clothes. They're wearing rags, they get pissy, and then the next thing you know, somebody's throwing an 800-pound stone table across the room at somebody else, kills them, their spouse kills it. It's have a tailor. And the key things that I found is trousers, socks, tunics, dresses, things that cover the body. And you can check now, Dwarven Therapist has gotten a lot better at reporting who needs what. So we have a tailor. We still don't have a blacksmith. Let's have this person become a blacksmith. Crafter, blacksmith. Done. Go again. Shenmue, metal crafter, custom crafter. Done. Alrighty, we're moving down the list. We're running out of stuff. We want 1 more gem cutter, gem setter. We don't have anybody really useful for that. Crafter, gem cutter, gem setting. Done. We want 1 glass maker. Customize, crafter, glass maker. Now, they're not completely useless because if we have something that's underutilized for crafting, we can have them do something else. But we've got wood hauling and water hauling, cleaning and levers, and we have other things that are going to keep our crafters busy in the meantime. And we want to have, and I found the best percentage is about 10% of your staff idle. The reason is idle dwarves do things like parties, they communicate, they keep each other company. It's by and large better for them, for their mental stability, shall we say. We don't have to worry about mechanics because all of our soldiers do mechanics. The reason I have mechanics set up exclusively for soldiers is that at all times they're going to be in a squad. So they're going to be wearing armor and they're going to have weapons. So if they have to go out and take a cage from a cage trap or something, or they're going to be in the front lines, they're at least going to have some weapons and armor on them. So that's always handy to have. Mechanics you can turn on temporarily if it's safe in other groups, but by and large, just let your full-time soldiers handle mechanic work. You should not be churning out endless amounts of mechanisms unless you need them. So architecture, this is for people building stuff. Again, you can have your soldiers do it if you want. Sometimes it pays to have a lot of people have architecture. It depends. We're going to be going with that here in a second. Siege operator, pump out. I don't use beekeeping very much in the early game. Push haul vehicle and stuff like that. Now what I want is I want 4 people that are going to do nothing but explicitly haul stuff. We grab 4 people, customize, hauler. You'll notice they do nothing except push and haul vehicles and haul stone. Now we can turn on item hauling as well, but we have more than enough people that are already handling that. So they do very big things. If we have stone piles that we want, but more importantly, when we build our first quantum stockpiles, these are the guys that are going to go and flip the bucket. So keep that in mind. Unless you give everybody push haul vehicle, your quantum stockpiles, your legit style ones, aren't going to be working very well. This leaves us with 6 people that really have no specific place to go. We might want to make a carpenter. I don't think we have a carpenter yet, right? So let's grab this person, customize, crafter, we'll go carpentry. We could make a bowyer, but at this point I want metal, and we don't have enough metal to start making metal crossbows, and that might actually be covered by weaponsmithing anyway. Wood crafting, it is kind of handy to have 1 person, but I use it so infrequently that I tend to just have the commoners handle it. So I've got 5 left. Select all 5, customize, and they become commoners. And you see how their skills will fill out here. If you look at commoners and soldiers, they're pretty much the same. They handle soaping, wood burning, potash making, lye, milling, pressing, plant gathering and processing, cheese making, butchery and tannery, cleaning the fish, things of that nature, shearing, spinning, dyeing, that kind of stuff. Nothing too heavy. Now, if we're early in the game where we want a specific skill turned on, I can go to the whole category of commoners and set them all to, for